Okay, minasan. Today we are gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 31. So this episode is our Romeo and Juliet episode. We are waiting for this episode ever since last week. We are gonna see whether or not Renee is actually gonna confess to Houtarou or not, or are we gonna see a new love blossom between Houtarou and Renee? But sadly, by the end of this episode, no such thing, okay? We don't see Houtarou and Renee, falling in love with one another, but there is a little bit of hint, if you pay attention to their dialogue itself, that Renee does actually is in love with Houtarou, and Renee does want to be better, does want to attract the eyes of Houtarou itself. And I think that is something that is like really, really amazing that we actually get to see in the Kamen Rider franchise. Like I said previous week, like this might be our very, very first rider romance, okay? Like main rider and secondary rider romance. And I think that is like definitely really, really fantastic. I love it. But with that being said, let me talk about what do I actually think of this episode, okay? So I feel like this episode, they did their story really, really in a really weird way, especially when it comes to the villain itself. When I saw the mammoth Malgam is a creation of more than 4 puppets. I'm not sure what to actually call them. I'm just gonna call them the puppets. They are being created with more than 4 puppets, and yet it can be easily defeated by Majid. So when I saw that, I was like, how strong exactly is Majid, man? It's like, what is the strength level? Is Majid closer to the super form, the level 10 form of Houtarou, or Majid is as strong as Iron Gotchard? What is the power scaling here? Like I felt like asking power scaling in a Kamen Rider video is dumb and stupid because like every author have their own mind, every director have their own mind on how strong a character is. But just seeing that Majid is able to defeat the mammoth Malgam, it really boggles me. And at the end of the story, we actually get to see that the Kraken Malgam, damn, he consists of around 10 puppets, and Platinum Gotchard has no problem defeating it at all. So I think that is like, what is the point of showing us the puppets, so many puppets, if they are just gonna get defeated with one rider kick? And the main reason why happens in the next episode, or should I say by the end of this episode, we saw the reason why they really want to get the puppet out of the way is because they want to introduce us to a new villain. So when I saw that happening, I was like, I would love to see if they struggled more, especially in terms of fighting, because when they fight with the mammoth, they don't really have any struggle. But and then they fight with the Kraken Malgam, the only struggle that they have is due to the Kraken ability to give them hallucination, to show them that hey, they don't know who to actually fight. They have a mental block, something like that. So that is the only problem that they have when they are fighting the Kraken Malgam. But the Kraken Malgam did not actually overpower them in terms of power, in terms of speed, anything at all. So that is a really, really sad thing where we actually see that. But then again, it could also mean that the rider team right now is so much more stronger than we actually thought he is. I feel like Platinum Gotchard right now is still really, really OP, and we don't see anyone that is able to take down Platinum Gotchard at the moment yet. But we just have to wait and see until around maybe episode 35 or 36, we might actually get a hint of a new form for Gotchard, okay? But then again, with that being said, other than that, I think a few things I will really want to focus on. Firstly is on Renee, okay? So how they portray Renee in this episode, especially the beginning of the episode, where her mental is super duper weak, where she's like, oh, I can't believe I killed Sena, like she died because of me and all the stuff. So it's like, I think it is kind of dumb if you really think about it, because if she is logical and if she just have a little bit of like smart in her, or she does not get overwhelmed by her emotion, she can easily like think, oh, I can use the sun to save them, I can use the sun to remove the eyes, like what am I scared of and all that stuff. Okay, so but then again, I'm not a girl, or should I say I'm not a youth, I'm not a teenager. I don't know how do they actually think. Okay, so most of the time, like, people's mind are quite weak, especially when they are younger. Not everyone is like a shonen protagonist, their mental is like super duper strong, but we actually get to see like Rinne, her mental is definitely her biggest weakness. She get easily intimidated, and she get easily frightened, and yeah, you know, like she get afraid easily. So that is something that I see that is really, really interesting for Rinne. But by the end of the episode, we actually get to see that she actually decides, she make a plan, she's rational to, and then she allowed Houtarou to rider kick her, and then she uses the moon to fake her own death, something like that. Okay, so that is something quite interesting that we actually get to see. But then again, yeah, definitely can be better. But I think they actually released kind of like a full version of the Romeo and Juliet stage show, theater show, which I'm gonna cover in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But let us move on to Lakesi, because Lakesi in this episode actually has a lot of future, you know, like a lot of things that has been said, and we're just waiting to see what is gonna be happening in the future for her. Firstly, we learned that Lakesi does not eat, so maybe the Abyssal sister does not need to eat, and that makes sense because they don't have money. So how are they gonna eat? And if they do want to eat, they don't need money as well. Again, they can just steal from people and all the stuff. They can do all the villainous thing that they want. So it's really interesting that they actually gave us a little bit of kind of like character lore for Lakesi, or should I say the homunculus, the puppets of Leon creation, something like that. So I'm not sure whether or not Atropos needs to eat or not. If Atropos needs to eat, then maybe Atropos is really different from the rest of the Abyssal sister, and the three Abyssal sister is actually not all of them are created equally, maybe. Okay, we are not sure. Okay, but we just have to wait and see like what is to come for Atropos and also the rest of the Abyssal sister, because in the next episode we are actually gonna focus on Cloto and Houtarou. Like, we're gonna see both of them fighting together against the new villain, so we are not sure how things are gonna go. But one thing I know for sure is that Lakesi is definitely gonna get a glow up. Is it gonna be a glow up or a glow down? We are not sure. But by the end of this episode, we actually get to see that she actually has her own Vulva Rush. Okay, so that is really, really interesting. I'm not sure whether or not, like, hopefully, okay, one thing that I really hope is that Lakesi would like paint the Vulva Rush into her own color, because the color purple is actually the color for Vulva is the color of Spana. And if Lakesi were to use the Vulva Rush and were to make it her own, I would love it if they would actually paint it into another color and all the stuff. And if they paint it into another color, they can sell more toys. Okay, they can sell it like Vulva Rush Lakesi version, something like that. And people are gonna buy it as well. Like, kids doesn't know the difference. They doesn't know how to spray paint their own Vulva Rush. Buy two Vulva Rush, spray paint one of them, become the Lakesi color. All that is all you need. But yay, I'm giving you money making ideas, so maybe do it. Okay, but I feel like this is kind of like telling us that Lakesi might or might not be real, might or might not be authentic when it comes to betraying the Abyssal sister. We are not sure what is her plan. Is she truly good, or is she still a little bit of evil? Like I already mentioned this in my previous episode right now, where I actually talk about how Lakesi only sided with the good guys is because she is afraid. that is why she sided with the good guys. But right now, with the threat of Glion goes missing, we are not sure how good is she. Like, is she like all good, or right now, like, is she like planning something in secret? Like, is she still a little bit of evil, something going on? We are not sure, okay? But from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like she's all that bad, and she does seems like she is like, you know, like she wants to help the good guys to, or should I say, she wants to keep her place in the good guys' home, something like that, and she is like being honest with everything that she shared to Kyoka itself. So Kyoka and Minato actually trusted Lakeshi, but Spana does not trust Lakeshi yet at the moment. So hopefully we are actually gonna see like in the future things are gonna be a little bit different. Okay, so like maybe there's gonna be a romance going on between Spana and Lakeshi as well. I think there's like what a lot of people would love to see. So if that were to happen, it's gonna be amazing. A double Valvarat is gonna be really fantastic. Okay, so right now in my checklist, I think if not mistaken, there's a checklist where I talk about one of the Abyssal Slither is gonna turn good. So yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and check that off, because right now Lakeshi has officially joined the good guy rider team. Okay, so with that being said, I think that is pretty much it from me from Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 31. Really fun episode, especially with all the romance and trusting each other thing. But obviously, we are not gonna get an official couple until maybe the after story of Gotchard itself. Okay, so with that being said, that is all from me. If you made it this far into the video, let me know in the comment section below by tapping the word cola, COLA. Why cola? Because I'm craving it right now. But that is all from me. Goodbye.